William Hillyard.
Thank you guys all for coming. I didn't expect such a turnout. It's great to see some friendly faces and some people that I don't know. My name is William Hillyard. I've been writing about Wonder Valley since 2009. That was when I first published a story called Wonder Valley in a magazine that was distributed on the streets of Denver by the homeless. That magazine article, though, won some awards. In fact, it got me into America's Best Non-Required Reading, which is a phenomenal feat, not so much that the article was so great, but that they found it on this street of people in Denver. My editor at the time said, well, can you get more of this stuff? And I went, yeah, there's a whole lot of people in Wonder Valley, and it's a weird, strange place. And so I started coming out here more regularly looking for stories. This isn't the first, that wasn't my first encounter with Wonder Valley, however. My wife and I, she was my girlfriend at the time, she was a geologist just out of geology school, and we drove through here in 1988 as she was showing me around the desert all these places that she loved, that she'd studied as a geologist. She loves the desert because there's not plants and stuff growing all over the rocks, and you can actually see the geology of. And we drove through Wonder Valley. I remember my first view of Wonder Valley was from the top of Sheep Hole Pass coming in, and it was one of those WTF moments. This was in 1988, so a lot of the Biltmore cabins had yet to be expanded, and it was just these tiny little shacks, kind of equidistant over the valley, like a game board, like a hellish game board. And I was curious about Wonder Valley ever since. We drove through here a lot because we did a lot of camping and exploring in the desert. And then when my parents moved to 29 Palms in 2004, I started coming out here more. How I started writing about Wonder Valley, however, was when I was dog sitting for my parents in 29, and I went to the Hollywood Video, which used to be in 29 Palms, and to rent video, and the bathroom had an out of order sign on it. And the manager said, oh, no, it's not out of order, we just lock it up to keep the Wonder Valley people out. And I thought, he said, oh yeah, they come in here, they'll have water, they fill up their jugs of water, they bathe in the bathroom, and I thought, holy shit, there's people that live in the desert with no water. Because this was summer, and I thought, okay, I want to find out more. I pitched an idea to my editor at the Homeless magazine, and I wrote a story about the death of a woman named Rika McGuire. Rika lived in an old school bus that she dragged from place to place on a particularly warm day. I think it was 118 degrees a day. It spiked. She had run out of water and she died. And the interesting thing about her death was not that she died of lack of services, lack of water. The coroner's report, now mind you, they did no toxicology on her, but the coroner's report listed her death as chronic drug abuse. They found a pot pipe in her bus, and that kind of, the liberal in me went, okay, I'm gonna find out more about this place. So I started writing in 2009. I was staying at my parents' house. 2010, I rented a place on Neighborly Road. Chris Bolin here was my immediate neighbor. And I started driving around meeting people and listening to people's stories and trying to collect them into a book. So I want to read to you some of that book.